am the world's lousiest employee. I am built to be a business owner. If you're the kind of person who resents someone who's paying you, do a job, then you should make your own way and figure out a business for yourself. I was the kind of person that was looking for every way to leave before 5. I would put my coat on my chair at the law firm and go out for lunch, and I'd spin my computer around so nobody could see that I wasn't still in the office. Oh, I am the worst. Yes, because I didn't like it.
What you're talking about right there is so relatable.
Yes.
I think especially to people listening today who want to be an entrepreneur. And if somebody's listening and you're like, I want to do all that, but I also hate my job, but my job's terrible and your boss is the worst. How do you flip your mentality from saying, I hate my job, I want to do the least, to I actually want to build an empire and maybe I just could?
Oh, well, you definitely, well, first of all, not everybody should. Not everybody is built to run a business, because you got to be willing, do it for 10 years. You got to be willing to accept the risk that comes with stepping out on your own. You got to be willing to do all the things you don't want to do at work, do it in your business because it's for you. And so that's like, maybe you're not cut out for this, and that's okay too. Right now, 69% of people in the United States would quit their job if they could. And what I want to tell you is, it's a simple way to know you should be doing something else. If you're driving to work or logging onto Zoom, you have tension in your body. You have a sense of dread. You don't want to go. There's your signal. Now the question becomes, what are you willing to work at for 10 years in order to build something for yourself? And if you don't trust yourself to do it on your own, and you're not yet at one of Codie's events or in the coaching program, because that's the other thing. Like, the beautiful thing about what you do is Chris and I didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
And everything was on the line. I didn't have somebody that was advising us. So you're just kind of like trying to figure it out and scrambling and doing it on your own. And so there's so much more support even today, because this happened, almost 20 years ago. So that's number one. Number two, you're not stuck where you are. You're not stuck in a job. You're not stuck with a boss. Like, that's a lie you're telling yourself. You can't quit your job if you have bills to pay. But number one, the first thing you need to do is flip that mindset from complaining about it to saying, I get to work today and I get to pay my bills. And that's a good thing. But I am going to stop wasting my weekends watching television or partying with my friends. And I'm going to use the time on the weekends, if I don't like the job that I have, to figure out what is the next thing I want to do. That's all you have to do. Obviously, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And one way that I started to figure out, well, what might I like to do, is I started doing experiments. So one experiment and for me, you got to understand, Codie, I'm a very negatively motivated person. So if I have a problem, I'm very motivated. And one of the first problems that helped me start to figure out what I wanted to do was, I was working in a large law firm in Boston. I got pregnant with our first daughter, Sawyer. On maternity leave, I started to have that feeling that you may have as you're going to work, which is, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to ever answer the question, what do you do for a living, with the answer, I'm a lawyer. And so I went to Chris. I'm like, I don't think I can go back to work. He's like, what do you mean? You have to go back to work. First of all, we both pay for the mortgage. Secondly, you will drive me, our daughter, and yourself crazy if you're not doing something.
Yep.
And here's the deal. You got to make $60,000. And now I have a problem. And he's like, and I don't care if you're a barista. That's what you have to make. I've crunched the numbers in order for us to pay our bills. And so now I have a problem. I do not want to go back to work. I got 4 weeks before maternity leave is. Now I got to find a job that will pay me $60,000. And I'm going to tell you something. When you have a problem, think about this. If you have a problem one of your kids is facing, you basically a PhD all of a sudden in figuring that thing out. But when it's you sit around, you're like, I don't know what to do. And so I networked like crazy because I did not want to go back to that job. And the night before I was supposed to go back for maternity leave, I got offered a job for $55,000 with a new tech startup. This was 1999 in Boston, first big .com bubble. I had to go into work the next day. They threw me, when I walked in the door, a surprise baby shower.
Oh, balls. Oh, no.
And I had to resign. That was harder than breaking up with like a couple people that were like nice guys, but not your person.
but also, I mean, I think a lot of people like you now run a business.
Yes.
Do you ever want somebody to stay and
No.
work for you
Absolutely
that
not.
hates their life?
Get out.
What would you do if somebody came to you and said, hey, I love you. I love what we're doing here. It's just not for me.
Great.
You would say, tell me what is for you. Should I make an introduction? If you're a good performer, go
Absolutely.
on. Let's fill your role. Let's find you something else. Great.
Absolutely.
But it does seem like you have these ideas in your brain about how things are going to work. And
Yes.
we catastrophize and say, it will go terrible if my boss knows. They'll fire me immediately. Then I'll never be able to become employed
Right.
again. As opposed to, well, but how would you know? If you've never run a business, you don't know that feeling yet.
Yes. And if you don't know, here's another thing that happened. So I kept feeling this nagging pull that, okay, now I'm in the startup space. I think, like, what do I want to do? And I'd always thought I wanted to run a bakery. And if you think you want to run a bakery or open a restaurant, before you do that, experiment by getting a part-time job in one. Because it took me exactly one Saturday shift of showing up at 5 o'clock in the morning and filling the napkin container and filling and refilling the half and half and the milk and wiping the counters and baking the carrot cake muffins and running the thing and and cleaning up the tables to realize, wait a minute, I don't want to spend my life smelling like a carrot muffin and doing all this stuff. Why I was interested in a bakery is, first of all, my grandparents had one, so it's in the DNA, but I'm interested in the experience and having a life. I could walk into a bakery where people know my name and I know them, and I can have my carrot muffin and I have time and I can have a meeting there. I want the freedom of the experience. And so all these little experiments that you can do while you're employed, because you need to be responsible, you need to pay your bills. The worst thing you can do is quit too soon and put stress on the thing that you are starting. Do an experiment. Really put yourself in a micro way in the thing that you think you want, and you will feel immediately whether it's for you or not for you. And so, back to kind of the core story, I just continued to kind of bounce from one tech company to another. I then hired a coach because I felt like I was all over the place to help me figure out what to do. This would have been 2001. And this coach said, because you're a lawyer and because you've now got this .com experience and because you are crazy intuitive, I think you'd be a great coach. Why don't you let me train? And so in 2003, I started, basically said I work with successful people who feel stuck. And I started doing it on the side. This is how bad of an employee I was. You ready? So I was working for another tech firm. I would literally tell my boss, oh my God, I would tell my boss that I was going to take a call in the conference room. I would be in there coaching somebody on the phone who was paying me $75 an hour.
That's incredible.
And then what I did is I so badly wanted to get out of that job, but I couldn't afford to. And so here's how I did the math. If you're currently straddling something and you're just like, okay, when do I make the leap? When do I make the leap? You want to create a math equation for yourself that is tied to your psychology. And what I said is, if I can land 10 clients at $75 an hour, if I can have those 10 clients pay me consistently, so every single week I'm making $750 on the side, night, in the mornings, hiding in a conference room while I'm lying to my boss, like, you got to do what you got to do. If I can do that consistently for 4 months, then I can quit my job, because I have now demonstrated I am able to maintain that. And it's not now luck. I've demonstrated something to myself that I'm willing to count on. And that's what happened.
And you kind of pair the luck with the like. So,
Yes.
you
Yes.
could have probably stayed at the bakery for
Yes.
the same amount of hours.
Yeah, no, I one Saturday shift. I'm like, not for me.
But it's actually one of the reasons why I think that unpaid work is so useful, because all it is
Wait, hold on. It's not unpaid. You're getting paid knowledge and experience.
No, totally. I'm just saying, half the time people are like, I really want to be a podcaster. And then
Yes.
you're like, well, sit and talk to somebody for an hour and see if you actually like it. Even if it's free, just
Right.
try it.
Oh, I
and
got
see
a better
what's up.
idea. I got the voice memo on your phone. Start recording. See if you like it, because that's the job.
And put it on the internet and see how
Yes.
you feel about other people listening to
Yes,
it.
because that's the job.
Because that's the job.
Yes.
You talked about this, but I think you're probably considered one of the best life coaches, the biggest life coaches in the world. across all different types of humans. When I think about,
Is that what people think about me?
I think so.
Really?
I think you're
Wow.
yeah. I saw multiple YouTube channels titles. Number one life coach.
Is that what it
Mel
said
Robbins.
to me?
Yeah.
Like on my channel?
No.
Change that
Other
banner.
people.
No, okay, go ahead.
I love being called number one. I'm fine with it.
Oh,
You
I'll
get-
take
switch it
number
to me.
one.
Yeah.
I'm like, get rid of the life coach. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you
That's
why. Because
perfect. I was gonna
I
ask you.
feel like all I'm doing is sharing my experience.
Yeah.
And I am providing access to some of the best thinkers and researchers and interesting people in a way that's relevant to a normal person's life. And I am sharing the advice that's worked for me. But I feel like if you're somebody's coach, you have an accountability to them.
Agree.
And to me, I know that the responsibility for what you do with what I have shared or the conversation we have put out, by the way, for free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything about the things that I do. I mean, what am I selling? You're going to tell me it's a dumb business model. I have a book, and you don't even need to buy it because I'm going to tell you exactly
You should
how to
buy it.
use
It's
what
so
I'm doing.
great. We have multiple books. How many copies have you sold overall?
8 million, 11 months.
Wild.
It's on track to be the most successful nonfiction book in history.
That is, but not surprising because it's really hard to take the complex things and simplify them. I always feel like if you want to figure out if somebody's really smart and somebody you should learn from, it's not do they make you feel stupid, it's do they make you feel really smart.
Yes.
Even when you talk about really
Yes.
complex things.
And I'm not afraid to be the villain. And the reason why is I'm not interested in being smart. I'm interested in being useful. And if I can save anybody the heartache I've caused myself or the pain I've caused myself or other people, that's an incredible way to live your life. And for me, I spent so long hiding who I was and being embarrassed by my mistakes. People always say, oh my God, you're so vulnerable. I'm like, I don't think it's vulnerable to talk about what's actually happening. It's way harder to lie and to carry things on your own. Because when you carry it silently, it has so much weight. And, I want to go back to one of the things that you said earlier. I want you to start late, what there was like all these starts.
Yes.
When we were $800,000 in debt and I had more job changes than an ABBA cover band does costume changes, I told myself that it was too late. I told myself we had screwed everything. We would never get out of debt. We would never figure out my career. We would never be able to, pay for college. We would never get these liens off the house. I was too old. I had screwed up too much. There was too much of a track record for us. It's over. And there was this moment where you kind of get trapped in this loop with yourself, where now you're arguing against everything that you want. And you're arguing at the person that you married. You forget who you married, and you forget that they're trying as hard as they can. They're not meaning to screw anything up. And you being a world-class jerk to this person is only making it worse. And I remember this moment, and I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want to be yelling at Chris. I didn't want to be drinking so much. I didn't want to be hitting the snooze button 5 times a morning and the kids were missing the bus. I didn't want to feel like I had screwed up my life, but I could not, Codie, make myself do anything. I was frozen in this experience and I knew what to do. Here's the kind of a twist on modern life. You have no excuse right now because you can go to any AI platform and you can type in your problem or your goal, and it will pretty consistently spit out a step-by-step plan. And if you were to follow it and give up your timeline, eventually things will get better. Eventually you'll get nearer the thing that you want. Eventually, like the things that you need to do work. If you feel right now like I felt, which is I was so discouraged. If you're discouraged, you won't do anything.
So true.
And so it's so easy when you're in business because it's so isolating when you're an entrepreneur. And a major mistake that we make when we launch a business, and this is why I love what you guys are doing here, is we do it alone. So we don't have anybody to talk to and we carry the burden alone. And I just think, I think about Chris at this moment in time, and I think about that famous statue, is it Atlas, of the guy that's got the world on his, like that is what that poor man felt. And so
it's funny you say that because where is it, Kyle? Oh, right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is up there.
That's our company logo. I can
Shut up.
thinking, except it's a brain. But the idea is really that you're holding up the world when you
Yes.
decide to build something. It's
Yes.
way easier. Well, I think being broke is hard and getting rich is hard and being an employee is hard and being an owner is hard. It's all hard, but you get to choose which one.
Yes. Or for how long you're
Right.
in which one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're going to try to do something about which one.